God and talk about the pursuit of God and the ministry. And we've been confined to a text that we need to read and pick an exemplary life of our Father in the Spirit, who is no other person but Apostle Paul. Can quickly read it for us. Acts chapter 18, we'll run through verse 1 to 4, just only 1 to 4.
After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately came from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius has commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. And because he was one of the same craft, he abode with them, and wrought, for by their occupation they were tent makers. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath, and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Thank you for that reading. I will not go into details of what happened to why Aquila and Priscilla were sent away from Rome by Claudius. But the main reason why they were sent is just because of Christianity purpose. They feel they are preaching so much of Christ. And that happened about 49 AD. They were sent away. But luckily, they found a company of an apostle, who is Paul. They all met in Corinth. But something very unique that we are going to pick out from there is they have common traits. They have common skill. And the skill is tent making. And so while we are there, they join hands in the skill and continue with the work. Now, if I will ask further, at what point does Paul learn this skill? Is it that he got converted before? Or at his own youthful age that he has energy to do it? And we only knew about the life of Apostle Paul, that he also learned the Jewish law, Abi, under a great scholar, Gamaliel. It then tells about something unique about St. Paul. St. Paul was a very conscious man who foresees what will come ahead. It is not when he is confronted with the problem before you start looking for the solution. No. And I think they need for them to have gone into that. If you read further, you hear that they went into, every Saturday he goes into sharing the word of God. I also crave our indulgence to read Acts 20, 33 to 35, so that we'll be able to see the purpose why he learned this skill. This same Act, chapter 20, verse 33 through 35.
I have committed no man's silver.
Please, give me the mic. Let it be more audible so that we can read, even though we have Bibles.
I have coveted no man's silver, or gold, or apparel. Ye yourselves know that these hands have ministered unto my necessities, and to them that were in need. I have shewed you all things, how that so laboring ye ought to support the weak, and to remember the words of the Lord Jesus, how he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive.
Thank you for the reading. From the reading, it means Paul is pointing out the skill he has and the purpose which he uses the skill for. One, he said his hands are not free. He didn't bother anybody about material things, neither gold nor silver. He also does that in order to help himself earn a living. Equally, he goes beyond living for himself, but he was living for other faithful who are less privileged. So it then means he has this thought for long. He wants independence. He doesn't want to rely on anybody. Even though he has full knowledge and contextual understanding of the Bible, he's not leveraging on that to extort anything from anybody. But not like these common days that we have. If at all you are knowledgeable enough, you're going to form your church, you're going to ask for contributions, you're going to demand for things, enrich yourself and other things. Paul stand out different. And these are role models for us that some of us, we sit down and we read the passages of the Bible, we don't meditate on it, we don't pick out things that we are supposed to have understood and learn, and imbibe that culture to see what are those benefits. Apart from gaining heaven, there are practical steps that people that followed God followed, and they have the benefit on this world, in this world, not even heaven yet. And so your heavenly Father is happy with them. Nowhere that St. Paul went to and he is a burden to anybody. He wasn't seeking for expansion. He wasn't depending on any church to say, supply all my needs. No. Rather, he dwells in helping himself. It then means he would have relied only on the knowledge he has on the Bible alone, or the Jewish studies that he has about the law. But he goes further to acquire this skill. And probably he acquired the skill at the time he's so strong, like you and myself. And so, it is important, it is pertinent, it is imperative that we consider skill as important part of Christian life to live in the service of God. The skill do not start with St. Paul, but it is a long time. If you go to Exodus, can we read through that place, please? Exodus 31. Sorry. Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Read from verse 1.
And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying,
See, I am called by name Bethlehem, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom and understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, to devise cunning work, to work in gold and in silver and in brass, and in cutting of stones, and to set them, and to carving of timbers, to work in all manner of workmanship. I have given to him Oholiab, the son of Ahisamach, the tribe of Dan, and in his heart of all that are wise-hearted, I have put wisdom, that he may make all that I have commanded thee.
It's okay. Go to 35. Chapter 35, verse 35.
Every sort of work done. He has filled them with skill. Every sort of work done by an engraver, or by a designer, or by an embroiderer in blue and purple, and scarlet yarns, and fine twin linen, or by a weaver, by any sort of workman or skilled designer.
Thank you. Now, you know that as a child of God, it is the purpose of God for us to have skill. He is the owner of skill and knowledge. But if at all we didn't even know that the God we serve owns skills and can give us skills, it doesn't mean that we are sleeping and we didn't seek for this skill. If at the time of building the temple that God was so interested and bestowed skills, special skills on people to use in building the temple for his own glory, and do you think he doesn't need you in his ministry? He doesn't need you to pursue particular ability. It can also be used as a verb to mean trained to do a particular task. Merriam-Webster also said, defines skill as the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in executions or performance. Then Cambridge in dictionary says, defines skill as ability to do an activity or job well, especially because you have practiced it. So in summary, skill refers to the ability to perform a task actively, effectively, and efficiently. It is often developed through practice and experience, and know it that God is the author of all skills, just like we read from the book of Exodus, chapter 31, verse 1. You can go through that. Exodus 31, verse 1 to 11, 35, verse 35, 36, verse 1 to 5. Now, a lot of us despise this very skill. A lot of us despise little beginning. But we've been advised, even from Sunday school, we knew this very, 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 very well. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. Hello? Those ones of us that are bending our heads, are we signifying we are tired? We should pause here. We are tired. We should pause at this level. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. Let me read it from here. It said, I'll read from the Message Bible. Start with God. The first step in learning is bowing down to God. Only fools thumbs their noses and sought wisdom and learning. Then if you go to Amplify Bible, it says, the reverent and watchful fear of the Lord is the beginning and the principal and choice part of knowledge, its start point and its essence. But fools despise skillful and godly wisdom and instructions and discipline. That means, if at all we obey God, we know we are supposed to learn about God. If you fear God, there is no harm. Now, the Amplified versions mention something unique that I want to point at us. Talks about choice. And that is where I want to let you know to make the right choice as a youthful person, that it will help you all life long in the service and work with God and in the ministry. As a young person, you are full. Every day you are full. Multiple of choices are coming to you. Every day. But the choice, if you make the right choice, go a long way in helping you. Life eternity. But if you make the wrong choice, affects you and you live in regret. Even though God can come to your situation, but it takes grace of God. And that is why it is this very time that we are supposed to make the right choices. Right choice of honoring yourself. Right choice of humbling yourself. Some of us are already in universities and at the peak of graduation. Some of us have graduated. I don't know whether we are reading between the lines to see where Nigeria was, where it is, and where it's going. I don't know whether a lot of the youth, especially in the kingdom, are seeing what is happening in our time. Just like the person that introduced, he said, I'm a government worker. Yes, I am for that matter, but you can hear that the pay cannot take us home.
Yes, sir.
If we dwell solely on what we collect as salaries, we won't be able to do anything. Some of us are coming as useful as you are dreaming big, you want good job, you want best course, you want to give in your best and be employed. But some of us discovered it is time killing and gradual killing of individuals when you are no more useful, they throw you off. Because in the civil service, you have no time for yourself. You are under instruction. Just recently, I took a leave. I was preparing for my MSc exam. And my exam is supposed to have come next week. But suddenly, they called me from the office that my leave had been terminated because I don't owe myself. I should resume immediately. I have no option than to go to the bathroom to take my bath. And I left office. I didn't leave office until about 6 p.m. to 7 that I left. You continue that kind of life. Every morning you go to office, come back in the evening, and your pay, you complain, you struggle on how you live with your family, other needs, challenges. Until after 35 years for the core civil service, tertiary institutions, they gave them the grace of 65 years in service. At 65, is it easy for you to learn any skill again? Hello? Is that the best time to learn skill? And when you retire, your benefit could accumulate up to 10 million. Nobody is giving you even 5 million. Even 2 million, nobody will give it to you. The highest they will give it to you is to sustain you. And the program is such a way that you should not even live beyond at least 10 years. You should die. They will be giving you your money in piecemeal. This month, if they so wish, they'll give you 100,000 out of 10 million. And so let's not be living in illusion of, if I've gone to university, if I graduate, I'm going to get a good job, and that job is enough for me. No! And that is why a lot of you that doesn't have Christ, after this illusion is not fulfilled, they live in frustrations. A lot of them go to commit suicide. They live in it. Say, I don't see the essence of living on earth again. And they go and hang themselves, or they drink poison, or they jump into bar beach. Several things that they do. So why can't we learn skill? As for me, when I saw those people that are retiring, a lot of them are suffering with stroke. They are even battling with health challenge even to maintain themselves. But the money is not there to buy the drugs. The money is not there to train their children because they have not even finished training their children. The money is not even there to build a comfortable home to live and say, oh, after 35 years, this is my reward. Let me rest. Read newspapers, relax, but they are going through stress. And so when we saw some of those things, it pushes us to go into learning skill, at least to have an income that can back it up with the little thing that is coming. So key thing is, as a young person, if you want to succeed, apart from your knowledge, get a skill. That is the essence of this seminar, to equip you and open your eyes so that you can wake up into learning one or the other skill that will help you in long life. It may interest you that by the statistics that I have, out of those that graduate almost year in, year out, we have not less than, let me see. Say the growing number of certificate holders, particularly degrees, in this country called Nigeria, call for attention to look inward for alternative means of living, should in case employment opportunities do not avail itself immediately after graduation, so that we don't fall victims to frustrations and depressions, which had led so many to commit atrocities. According to the available statistics, World Bank data pinpoints that the percentage of unemployed Nigerians with advanced education stands at 13.69 as of 2016. And as of 2019, it grows up to 15.3. Now, the Nigerian population is how many? Hello? How many? I estimated, they said it's about 170. 200 million. Now, a simple arithmetic, find the unemployment rate of that 15.3% as of 2019, not as of 2020. Can someone do that simple arithmetic for us? 15 point of just find the percentage of 15% of universities, colleges of education, colleges of agriculture, polytechnics. Do you ever wonder to say, these populations, where is job for them? And are you sure that all of us will get the job that goes to the school? If the job doesn't come, where do you rely? When I finished my diploma, I was offered a job in the village to be a community employed person to teach, because I read computer science. And I objected it, no, I will not be able to do that. Why? I have the vision that my father doesn't have money to buy a computer for me. Neither myself, I don't have money to buy the computer. But one thing's wrong within me, I said, let me pick an attachment letter and go to any ministry. I don't bother about money. But what I bothered myself on to learn the skill. Once I learn the skill, job will surely come. And so I dropped my IT application form in 3 places, one in Ministry of Works, one in Housing, and one in Ministry of Finance. But what I was doing, I was so inquisitive to learn. I don't need your money. I don't need your money. And actually at that time I passed through stress. Because I don't have a place. I don't have single siblings. I don't have single relatives to even patch my head with. And so what I did was to rate myself as a student. So I went and parted with a student to see how I will manage my life, to get this skill. It's more important to me than any other thing. And so the core members that came, I was following them to learn the basics of, because what they told us in the school was more or less theoretical aspect. But let me gain the skill, let me get the experience, let me do the practical aspect of it. And so I went into learning. Basically, I started learning what we call Excel deeply. And also switched into learning CorelDRAW for graphics. And I also learned basic programming, QBasic programming. And those 3 things I combined at that time was earning me a living. They were not paying me because the office said they are not paying as a cheap. But my interest was not their payment. My interest was the skill I want to get. And as at the time I started getting the skill, I started getting little things coming to my pocket. I collect projects from the students, I type, I print it for them, I get money. I started writing programming languages for the Polytechnic students. They consult me to write programs for them. I started writing programs for them. And I didn't know how the information was circulated. A lot of them are having problems. They will come, I'll design the flow chart for them, design the code, test run it, put it in the diskette. It's not even the disks that we have these days. It's only diskette. So I started running into it. From one to another, they heard that, oh, there is someone that is writing program for us. Can we consult him? And I started getting money from that. I started getting access to their lab. When the program could not run, probably the way they copy it into the hard drive, it's not working properly. So I have to transfer it and change the drive, and the code I changed to read the source of the code. And the program ran, and we were getting their marks. I started graphic works. Then I met some PhD holders who find it very difficult to have engineering drawing. I started using it for them. I became their friends. And so, an Ishmaelite, someone doesn't know God. When opportunity for employment came, he said, if it is one person they are going to take in this ministry, it should not be any other person but this boy. That was how I got my employment. After that, I saw there is a separation in the office I work because of religion. I was so hardworking that even on Sundays they could pull me out from the service to go and work. As at that time, we even packed systems to government house to do work at that time. But I was not getting the satisfactions I want. I was not really having time for service. Midweek service, I cannot be seen because I was working directly with the commissioner. To close on time was not, so it disturbs me, and I cry out to God. Say, God, I want to enhance my knowledge. And this is the one single prayer that I say. That I say, God, after this school, I don't want to remain in this office for not less than 1 year. And God heard my prayer. I got admission. I went to school. I was posted to Bauchi for youth service. But as a family man, I was newly married at that time. So I said no. I redeployed and I came back. Sorry. What time am I supposed to? I didn't track the time and stuff. 2:40. It's okay. So we have only about 19 minutes to go. So I had to redeploy and I came back and I served in College of Agri. We that served at that time, we are more than 20. But by the grace of God, at the end of the service, I was the only person that was retained. When we were about leaving, they called me and said, look, don't go. We want you to stay back. What do? I use my skill to showcase what I can give it to them. And so, I was doing maintenance for them. All the assistants that they called people to come, I was doing it free for them. Free. You see, as a child of God, if you don't have wisdom again, it means you have not been consulting your Bible. There are a lot of hundreds of wisdom. I was doing maintenance for them, and I was also training other people who have phobia for even touching the computer. They went to ROSA training, but they don't have the capability to work effectively. I brought them closer. I said, don't worry, don't be afraid. I started teaching them, and I taught them. They picked up. They were so happy because I have sunk courage into them, confidence into them, and I've given them the knowledge equally. So we became friends. When the job opportunity came, I was welcome. I was given the opportunity. So why do you need the skill? You need the skill for self-reliance, for self-confidence, for independence, to help yourself and to help the community. Through that, it was a gospel. Many people will come in contact with you as a child of God. It means the ministry of God is being fulfilled, coupled with godliness. But a lot of us have forgotten what Ecclesiastes says. A lot of us are living in illusions, in mirage, in life, fake life, instead of reality. We feel after going to universities, that is all. A lot is still more there. If you want to go far, please pick one of the skills to learn. There are so many, time will not permit us. Say, how can you acquire? There are skills that you can acquire within 6 months. You are there. The shop he was mentioning, I will have one shop close to him. I started that shop with 100,000. 100,000, that is what I started. Today, what I have there is more than 2 million. That shop have also born another shop extension in the town. I grow fish. I have pond that I stock fish, and when it is right for harvest, the Lord will lead me. These people are in need. I'll fetch and smoke and give it to them. That's the ministration. Some the fresh one, I'll take it to them. Some from the proceed, because I'm very conscious of not going into the capital. If I see the need, just like Paul says, he is not doing it for himself again, alone. He was also doing to help others. The little that I could be able to assist others who are in their need, from the little proceed I'll give. If there is also a need in the church, necessarily when you know the nature of our church finance, though that is how we are brought up. But we need to explode. We need to tap more resources again to help ourselves, to help the church, to help those ones in need. God has connected us for a purpose. You might be instrumental to my growth and my exploit through your skill. It is a skill that endeared me to the commissioner when they were looking. Let me give you what funny thing that happened. I have one of my village man who is the staff officer in that ministry. Casual, for that matter, I requested from him. But when the opportunity availed himself, he gave it to his girlfriend. But one thing that happened, I identified myself with the fellowship house. It is the fellowship house that they identified me. That look, this boy have element of the love for God. Can we test his skill? That was how they tested me and said, okay, just give him casual. It is one woman from a baggy woman. Okay, give him a casual work. Let him just start. And when I went, they indirected because the level of my knowledge at that time was, but I have the skill. So they brought new printer that they were printing the whole salary of the state at that time. It was giving them headache. I was just watching and asked God, please show me directions, and I received it in vision. In the morning I came. I said, sir, can you permit me to do something? He said, what can you do? Even graduates, they cannot. And I said, just give me a little time. And he gave me, and I programmed the paper. I went and measured the size of the paper. I custom the paper, and they were printing, and it was jumping. The headache we were having all through, wasting papers, it went through. They said, wow, quick, wow, we don't know that we have you. Please, can you document? If you go to the Ministry of Finance today, up to date, that documentation is there. It is through the prayer cell that I got employment. As a youth, you need the skill. The skills you want to learn. Look at where your capability is. God has deposited so many potentials in us, but we are not even reading ourselves to know so much that God has deposited in us. So, look within you. At the end of this program, you should be able to say, look inward yourself. What is that unique thing that God has deposited in you? It can turn out to be your skill line that you learn. Identify the skill you want to learn. Set a goal. You know, a lot of us, we are walking blindly without having where we want to go in the next. Now, there were questions I posed down. I said, the strength you have here today, do you think you have that strength in the next 10 and 20 years to come? Do you have it? Will you still have it? So it's good for you to, and myself, to set a goal which you want to achieve. Probably you're on 100 level, 4 years. Look around. What can I do before the end of these 4 years that I'll be able to achieve it? He said 240. Okay. Now we are getting the mathematics. 15% is 30 million. 30 million or 200 million people that are not employed. And we are also coming out of school to add to them. And this statistics is as at 2019. So set a goal for yourself. What do you want to achieve between now and your graduation time? Create a learning plan that will help you to achieve that skill. Practice it regularly. You become master of it. He said, practice makes perfect. So by the time he begins to practice it, don't be afraid of errors. Don't be afraid of mistakes. And do you know why the Igbos succeed more than us? When they try a skill and they discover this skill is not working out for them, they change immediately. Do not be afraid. Change immediately. Get feedback. You should be able to track your progress, whether you are making headway or you are not making headway. Apply your skills. Stay motivated. Don't allow anything to derail you. Be focused. And you get there. Very soon you get there. You smile. You'll be a different person. You'll not be that person that you say, in the next, if at all you graduate from secondary school 10 years back and you are the same, you have not learned anything. How about? Have you asked yourself? Are you helping yourself? You know, my little child of 6 years, I told him, I'll not remain with you forever. Some of you are bragging with our parents because our parents can provide everything for us. Relieve them. One day you walk into their shoe and you see the pain they are passing through. Relieve them. If your hand can do anything, struggle to do it. At the end, I'll tell you something. I'll give you a word of an established entrepreneur man. Now, personal skill development. Remember, acquiring new skills takes time and effort, but the rewards are worth it. So I wish us good luck. That today we will not fold our hands. It is a great ministry by having one skill. Let me tell you, when we started our own church, we are fellowshipping in secondary school just the way we have been, until God opened way for us to buy a piece of land. And at that time we don't have enough. But thank God, our Father who have rested in the Lord have already, through his skill, through his skill, he was able to raise the church building for us. These are important skills for us to learn. In this contemporary, I only select 7. 1, data analysis. We know the world is all about data now. You can learn, and the job title are business analyst, data engineer, and data scientist. 2, we can learn software development. Not necessarily that you are in computer science that you will be able to learn that software. No. There are a lot of sites that can, if you are diligent, you'll be able to learn. I have known people that they have not single one day attended class or gone to attend any certificate in computer science, but today they are good programmers, they are good web developers. I'm not saying this to restrict it to men alone. Women can do it. Women can do it. Who told you that women are not data analysts? Who told you that women are not web developers? There are so many of them. The job title is application engineer, system developer, software engineer, developers, engineers. User experience to get feedbacks. There are companies that are in need of that. Go and learn soft skills. We have UX designers. Go and learn it. Web development, I've mentioned it. Project management, you can also learn it. Account management, you can also learn it. Then content creations and management. You see the social media, those things that you watch pop up for you, you see them, you read, you're interested. People are making money at the help there. A good number of us who have Android phone, we are not making use of this Android phone. Now, you have learned about skill. In 2 minutes, I said, where do you fit in with your knowledge of skill? Where do you fit in? Check yourself and discover your talent today and keep burning for him. Burning for who? Burning for God. Now, if you own God that you serve, if God is your father, it means he has everything. If non-believers will excel, then have you asked yourself, why am I not excelling? Is it the part of God or it is left on my own part now? It is then you'll be able to rise up in pursuing him. Remember, the beginning of every knowledge comes from God. God will not deny you. And God is interested in giving it to you. Now, your knowledge, what does it do? Below are questions coming to us directly. Do your skill fit in administration through songs? There are people that are gifted through songs. You can use that. Does your skill fit into being an apostle, going into preaching the gospel? Does your skill translate into being a Sunday school teacher? Those skills that you have can help you build yourself, build the church, build the community, and the ministry. There are a good number of times that people who are willing to go for conferences, if you are skillful and you have anything that is doing for you, it's good for you to have helped the person. According to Innovo Skills Digital World Academy, ask this question, it says, will you have the strength you have now to make money in the next 10 to 20 years? We need money in the ministry. We need money to help the widows. We need money who are orphans to help them, sponsor them in school. All these are ministries. They say, have multiple streams of income now, so that when you have 50 years, you will not need to be struggling with your children for money. Little multiple streams. Do you know bank? That is how they make their money. Do you know that? They said 15 naira, 20 naira, 30 naira, 15 naira. You think all those things are not nothing. But those people that goes on daily business, if you are able to save only but 1,500 in a day times 30, how much will it give you? Times 12 months, you'll be able to. And so, it is important for us. Say, run with one that touches you most. That is the starter. You run with people. And who do you first run with? Run with God first. Say, seek me here first. Look, say, seek me here first before any other thing will be added unto you. But where we start missing is when you don't even pursue God, we are confused already. We don't have directions because we are distracted by these little things that the enemy is using. But you know the mission of the enemy. He is targeting the youth to destroy them. And once he has finished destroying the youth, the church will not, because who succeeds the elders? It's not the youth. Will you continue to be? We are not like this before. Some of us, we are not using the eyeglass before. We don't have gray hair. But just like Ecclesiastes says, remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of troubles shall come, when you find no pleasure in them. I pray that will not be our question in Jesus' name.